What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about kiting. All you need is a kiting harness that we have right here. Number one, the helmet, obviously must have for every kiting session. A kiting wing, obviously it can be any type of glider. It can be your own glider, it can be an old used glider. Anything that allows you to actually kite will be a good thing to have. Kiting wings are a little bit better because they allow you to kite in higher winds generally because they are smaller. This one is a Sol 14-meter Sol Fun. So yeah, let's get on to it right away. Alright, so the goal of this video is to implement as many tips and tricks that I have and that I use with my students during classes to make sure they pick up this kiting skills as fast as possible in a safe manner for someone that has never heard and never done any type of kiting. To begin with, we're going to start with the kiting harness right here. The real thing you're going to notice is that I don't have a windsock. The reason why I don't have a windsock on the first 2-3 days of kiting with my students is because I want to make them understand that the most important part is to read the glider. Obviously, the windsock is a really important part of setting up your LZ. It is such a helpful tool to have, but there's going to be instances where you're not going to have a windsock for takeoff and for landing. So because of that, I want to make sure they understand that it's not a must-have, even though it kind of is, but it's something you can get away without having it. Before I set up my glider, I want to try to see where the wind is coming from. And the best thing I found out to do to see where the wind is coming from is just to walk in the square pattern with my arms open, and I can feel a little bit the wind in my ears. Go like this, go like this, and go like that. And it's pretty straightforward, right? You can sense right away the wind. Obviously it's coming from right around here, a little bit cross. So knowing that, I'm gonna wanna open my glider where the sails are gonna be facing that direction, obviously. The glider is gonna be on its back. That means the trailing edge is gonna be towards me and the leading edge is gonna be away from me. So that being said, I'm gonna set up the camera right here so you can have a better angle and we're gonna get down to it. I'm gonna drop my glider. Now the wind is probably blowing like a light 5 miles per hour gust. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open the glider. I like to open only the tip, the sails right here on the outside, so as it opens up, it doesn't scoop any sand right here. And because there's wind, I'm not worried about opening the glider completely all the way, right? Because I know the wind is gonna help me to open the glider. Anyway, get my riser bag out. I like to take my riser bag and put it in a little pouch that I have right here. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a distance from the glider right here, right at this point. And then now I look at my risers and I try to see if I can see any tangle. I like to grab my A's to begin with. And as you notice, I'm holding my risers by the tip right here, the connection point at this one right here. Grab my A's. I like to lift versus pulling, because if the wind was stronger, as you pull, you're going to be opening those sails, which can catch into the wind. It can get, you know, inflated and eventually drag you around. So right here, lift it. I see all my A lines. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but it goes straight and there's no tangle. There's no, this is right here, the yellow line. It's just a friction knot. If I pull it up, it comes right off. And so once I have this right here, what I like to do is holding my A's, release it, the hooking point right here, and I'm going to scoop my rear risers with the brake toggle. And the reason why I hold my brake toggles right here, the only reason I do that is just so the brake toggle does not fall off and you don't end up with a brake line getting all tangled. So it's just to hold them, but you want to hold the rear risers. All I want to do is take a big step back. I don't want to do too much of a pull in my hands. It's really just to kind of add a little bit of momentum to get that glider open and inflate it. And here we have it. Bring it back down right this way. Now we know our glider is nice and inflated. If we had more wind, we will be able to see and build a wall. Actually, we do have a little bit of gust coming in, and you can see the glider is about flat right here. As you can notice, the tips of the glider, the sides are a little bit higher. So what I can do to kind of fix that, I can grab my A's right here, grab my brake line and just pull it a little bit. Grab my brake line and just pull it a little bit. So again, all we have at this point is the center of the glider. Now here's the trick. Whenever you pull for inflation, tips number one, you do not want to pull on your A's directly. If you pull on your A's as you do inflation, most likely you might get a front collapse where the front of the glider is going to completely fold and it's going to be hard to inflate. I'm going to demonstrate that by pulling A's. I'm just trying to give the input that I get most of the time with my student. Now here, see the front, boom, completely folded on me. Again, grab my A's right here, grab my rear risers, making sure my brakes toggle in my hand. I'm gonna add a little bit of pressure and let it inflate. Right at this point, as you notice, The glider is nice and open. I'm gonna do the same thing. Now the goal is to keep my arms straight, all the way extended, and really play on my step back and my momentum going backwards. So I'm here, and you see it comes right up nice and straight. I'm gonna bring it back down, take my time, nice and slow, no rush, up, and I'll bring it back down this way. So now, what I'm trying to accomplish right here is to have that leading edge right here come up. So pulling it towards me will not make it come up. So let me give you an example. If my arm was a broomstick, if I want that side of the broomstick to go up, if I just pull the broomstick towards me, what it will do is it will do nothing. If I want the GoPro that is in front of me to go up, me pulling my arm will not do anything. Me aiming my arms up, so really just kind of like waving that arm up, makes the GoPro go up. So imagine this is your A riser, right? Having your hands underneath, grabbing those A's right here and pushing it up versus pulling towards you makes a whole difference. If you pull towards you, you notice this is not going up. If you push it up this way, or what you're doing is accomplishing is the camera is going up. The camera is the leading edge. That is what we want. So I'm going to show that again. And this, believe me or not, it makes a huge difference with your inflation, and it makes it a lot smoother and a lot easier. Grab my A's, grab my rear risers. I'm here nice and center. So you see I already have a little bit of tension right here. I know I'm center. The glider is still completely down. There's just tension on the lines. And as I'm ready to step back and push back right here, I'm just gonna aim up with my hands. I'm gonna guide those A's. So all you're doing, you're guiding the A's up versus pulling them towards you. And that goes a long way. Again, so I'm ready, and then now guide it up. Comes nice and straight, and it's there, it's not going anywhere. And then we're good. I'm gonna bring it back down, nice and slow, and drop. Tip number 2, how to clip it in reverse. The glider is set up right here. It's not perfectly into the wind, you can see, because the high side right here. Boom, boom, boom. We'll go over that in a minute. Give a little bit of a slack. I'm here, tension on my A's, grab my risers by the tip, check my A's, bring them together, a little bit of a lift. You can see the A's are completely clear at this point. Let them go, walk towards the glider, bring them down, put my risers together. As you can notice, the speed bar pulley is still right here. So the speed bar system is on top, the A's are on top, it's going all the way down the glider. What I like to do, I grab both of my risers together, I flip them to the left. Some people like to flip them to the right, I do left. As soon as you flip them to the left, you end up with the brakes in front. The way it presents itself, that's the way I clip in. One side, gates on the inside, and the other side. From there, gate is closed. Come down to my risers. I will have trimmers if I have a paramotor wing. Make sure the trimmers are set in the same position. Keep going down by holding those risers. You hold those webbings, make sure they're not twisted, because if they are twisted and you don't check that, you grab your brakes and you have a twist. Keep going down, see my risers, my webbing is still flat, grab my brakes, up. What I check right now, clean V to the pulley, down here. This is clean, no problem. At this point, my brakes are in my hand, nice and secure. I like to do a little bit of a step back to have those risers crossing. Because we are in reverse, the left riser goes right and the right riser goes left. At that point, remember, we flipped our riser to the left. That means our risers are gonna want to unflip themselves to the right. So with your right hand, grab your left riser and you untwist them to the right. You have an A line right here that is nice and clear. There's no obstruction on top of it. Now my other riser, which is the right riser going left, same thing. I'm gonna reach down and you see they're untwisting to the right. Grab them, they're set right here. At this point, I can go try to build my wall. I can see I have to move a little bit to the right side to have a level. The way to see if you are into the wind or not is pretty simple. If your glider is higher on one side, it tells you that you're not completely into the wind. So what you want to do is step a little bit to the right here and have that inflation. Once you get there, all you got to do, like I told you earlier, you got to guide those A's up. So I'm here, guide those A's up, check the surge. So same thing, my hands are on my brakes, my risers are crossed, my A's untwist to the right, my A's untwist to the right. So again, left riser in my right hand, right riser in my left hand. I'm here, a little bit of tension, up, a little bit of brake. Again, there's not a lot of wind, so it won't stay up unless I start running. But the idea is pretty simple on that. Again, I'm gonna do one more time, add a little bit of tension. Okay, the glider is inflating, and you see, If I pull my A's versus guiding them up and pushing it up, if I pull it, look at the glider. See how it's one side kind of like got a little bit of a collapse? So this would happen every single time with pretty much every glider. And that technique of guiding those A's up work the same way for forward launches, which we're gonna see in a different video. So again, right here, guide those A's up, tap. What you wanna do is make sure that you keep your arm nice and straight. And I'm gonna keep my arm 100% straight right here. Look at my arm completely straight. And then check the surge right here. So I'm having my palms up and my hands open so you can see exactly what I'm doing. And here, I'm not being aggressive. Guide it up. It is okay to be a little bit aggressive on that push up, on that pressure up. As long as you're not pulling, you're totally fine. I'm gonna go a little bit harder on that pull up right here. So all it does is it makes the glider go up a little bit faster. And that's all you guys need to know for this one. So I'm not sure it all makes sense. I hope it does. If that video was helpful in any type of way, just let me know. Now, another little detail I want to tell you about. Right here, as you can see, my risers are crossed because I am hooked in reverse. As you can see also, my left riser is on top. This indicates me that I'm going to have to turn left counterclockwise to go into a forward position. Let me show you. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on camera, but I'm going to try to show you. So I'm here. I'm going to bring the glider up, guiding, and if I was to turn, boom, it clears. Bring it back down. Now, if I go do the same thing, now let's say I have the same setting and I turn right, what would happen? If I was to turn right, I would end up with a twist. You can see right here. Now, another thing I've been asked a lot of time from my students, like, how do you drop the glider back down, making sure the cells are open? It's pretty straightforward. As I bring my glider up, as it comes back down, I wait for the trailing edge to touch down and then move forward. Boom, it worked just fine. So again, with the glider, as it falls down, walk towards it, and then the front is gonna automatically falls back. If I don't do that, let me show you what happened. I pull right here, whoop, you see that leading edge? Now there's wind, so it helps me to have the glider open back again, but if there was no wind, the glider will just fall back on its nose, and that's not so good. So again, I'm gonna show you that again. Bring your glider up, get my brakes, and now as soon as you hear the glider touching down, walk towards it, boom, the leading edge would open. Also, another thing that is important during that phase is to make sure the glider stays loaded. So as you're stepping back right here, right, the glider is loaded right there. I'm stepping back, no big deal. As I bring it down, I want to make sure there's tension on the line. So I'm stepping back somehow, putting tension, and then walk towards it to kill that tension, and the nose end up laying back. Now, let me show you what happened if I don't keep tension on the lines. I mean, the glider is going to be falling back, and as it starts falling back before it touches the ground, I'm going to start walking towards it and releasing the tension on the glider. You'll see what happens. So I've walked towards it. You see, up, it's just kind of falling all like crap. And it looks ugly, and it's not good for the glider. Okay, anyway, risers, rub them together, boom. Magnet shows up, tack, tack, unclip, unclip, right here, it's clean, all right? It's almost if I want to have a perfect layout for my next session of kiting in a few seconds. Up, open up, walk towards the glider, little whiff, bring those riser back. I like to drop my risers with my brake on the outside, A's on the inside, and I'm all set. That's good for now. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for checking it out. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that I talked about right now. I hope it is clear. See you in the next video, and don't forget to stay bad.